Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We'll be covering Tom Brady, discussing Bill Belichick, the Eagles playing in Brazil, the Spurs playing at a Miami Beach school, and make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into our oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Good morning/afternoon to you.
Good morning/afternoon to you. Kind of cool though. Well, today it's kind of overcast and it seems like it's going to rain here in southern Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
But if we'd have started this show like an hour ago, we would have had to hold up because it'd have been like loud music and you'd have heard all kind of drums and everything. Like out of nowhere, this happens in our town from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
There's about a couple hundred kids going down the street. There's megaphones and drums and all this stuff as everyone's gearing up for, I believe, Carnival is everyone's, and that's a big deal in Europe. That's in Portugal and Spain, Carnival is a big deal and it's kind of awesome. And so this is the first thing I've seen with Carnival.
Is Carnival similar to Mardi Gras?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where Mardi Gras is kind of like I believe like a spinoff from it.
Because Ash Wednesday is on Valentine's Day, so that's next week. So.
Okay. Yes. So that means it's like Ash Wednesday, Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
I get something like that.
Yeah.
Carnival's like the town I live in. They actually do a pretty cool thing for Carnival, but we're going over to, there's a town called Lule, which shows you a little closer to where I live. But Lule does like a huge Carnival thing. And Carnival can get a little racy as well. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how that goes. I may take a couple of pictures and see how it goes.
Well, that sounds like so much fun, honestly.
Maybe I'll share some of the pictures with the show or something. Who knows?
Alrighty, well, let's just dive right into it. So Tom Brady speaks out on the, quote, greatest coach ever, unquote, Bill Belichick's unemployment after 23 years as the Patriots head coach. On Monday's episode of his Let's Go podcast, the 46-year-old NFL icon broke his silence and revealed his thoughts on the former New England Patriots legend not receiving a job during the coaching cycle. Brady said, I'm surprised that the greatest coach ever doesn't have a job. Belichick, who is 71, spent the past 24 seasons as the head coach of the Patriots, but parted ways with the franchise at the end of the season. Brady played 20 of those 24 seasons under Belichick, winning 6 Super Bowls together. So,
okay. I'm going to go a different direction already with this. Yes, Bill Belichick statistically is the greatest coach ever. But if you ask me, if you hook me up to a lie detector test and you said, Tate, is Bill Belichick the greatest coach ever? I'd say you can't handle the truth. Because my answer, if it was true, if I'm being honest, my answer is no. No, he is not.
Why is that?
Okay. And I'm going to go into why Belichick has been so successful. When Belichick was in Cleveland, he had a losing record. He was not a great coach. He was a below average coach in Cleveland. When Belichick was in New England and he had Drew Bledsoe, they weren't that great of a team. They were a below 500 team. If you take every game that Bill Belichick has coached, when he did not have Tom Brady, he has a losing record. But
Yeah.
I look at him as there been a coach that has gotten more out of the not only the greatest quarterback of all time, but something that is very underrated with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest employee of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I said employee. And here's the reason why. When you have Bill Belichick and he's that kind of grumpy, surly kind of coach, and you're trying to keep everyone in line, and your biggest star is Tom Brady, and you can call Tom Brady out, and you can be really rough on him and really hard on him, and you have another player, you look around and it's like, well, hell, if he's getting yelled at, what am I going to say when Bill Belichick calls me out?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, and get in line because Tom Brady is getting in line. Um, Even when you look at guys like Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez ended up going to prison for unaliving people. He got in line because Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback and the greatest employee of all time, set the standard for that organization. In a very short period after Tom Brady left, the Patriots have fallen apart.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriot way, which everyone talks about, the Patriot way, it's, hey, the Patriot way is Tom Brady pays attention. We need to listen. Things started falling apart once Brady was gone. He hasn't shown to be a great judge of quarterbacks, a great developer of quarterbacks. No, I don't think he has. When you look at since he drafted Mac Jones number 1, first he went out and he got Cam Newton. And, Cam Newton, you brought him in. He was supposed to be the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it fizzled out and it was a disaster. And they cut him. Mac Jones, we have our young quarterback of the future. He comes in, Mac Jones is confident, he's doing well. Mac Jones had worked well with Cam Newton, and he ended up making a Pro Bowl. The very next year has completely fallen apart. Jarrett Stidham they brought Jarrett Stidham in. He didn't really do much of anything. The offense have kept falling apart and going down and going down and going down. Losing record, losing season after losing season. I mean, it's been a short period of time, but he hasn't really done much. When you take in account when you start to look at general managers like, hey, we're going to bring in Bill Belichick, and you start thinking about, you start looking at him before you start Tom Brady, you start looking at him after Tom Brady, and you also look at his age, it just makes sense. No, I don't want a guy that is going to want total control.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a coach that's like, hey, I'm just going to be happy coaching the defense or things, because he's been a phenomenal defensive coach. He is an elite defensive coach. Even after Brady left, great solid defense. But the offense has just been horrible. He hasn't developed a quarterback. Actually, the quarterbacks have kind of taken a step back. They didn't improve. They kind of went down with him. And then you take a look at the fact that the NFL is an offensive base system where the best teams traditionally are offensive, very high end, high offensive scheme teams. And Belichick is a defensive guy. And then what did he do a couple years ago? But make a defensive coordinator an offensive coordinator. Horrible decision. When Belichick, I think there's some. Tom Brady is a very humble guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
also a very media savvy guy. If someone would have asked him, "Hey, okay, you're surprised, but were you surprised when he went to Robert Kraft and said you were washed?" and that they should get rid of you. Did you agree with that decision? If he's so great,
Yikes.
was he? I mean, were you okay when they wanted the guy the I can't think of his name now, the former quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He wanted to get rid of you and bring in Jimmy Garoppolo as the next quarterback when Robert Kraft talks about how, or there's a lot of things written about Robert Kraft being upset with Belichick because Belichick convinced Robert Kraft that Brady was washed up and we need to get rid of him. Or were you thinking, hey, he's the greatest coach of all time then?
Yeah.
I look at Brady and it's like, hey, I wanted to go to Tampa Bay to show Bill Belichick how wrong he was about me, the quarterback. And he did that. He went to Tampa Bay, won a Super Bowl, and went on to and made it to the playoffs, had a phenomenal post Belichick career, only a couple seasons, but you can't get any higher than that. Where Belichick post Brady career crash and burn. Before Brady got there, crash and burn. And this is a coach that wants total control. He's 70 plus years old. And are you going to turn your entire organization over to him? Meaning, you're going to get rid of your coaching staff, your strength and conditioning people, your scouting team, your general manager department. You're going to get rid of all of this. Have Belichick come in, which he hasn't shown to be able to win, but bring in all his people for a guy that's only going to be around a year, a two, let's say maximum. Oh my goodness, he's doing great. 3 years, and then you're going to have to bring in a brand new general manager, a brand new coach, and he hasn't shown that he can win without Brady. I'm not doing it. Not for a guy at this age and juncture where he's at in his career. No. Is that does that? I know that sounds harsh, and a lot of people who love Belichick are going to hate this statement. But show me where I'm wrong. I'm not saying that am I saying he's the greatest coach of all time? Yes, statistically, he is the greatest coach of all time. Am I wrong that he failed in Cleveland? I'm not wrong. Losing record. Am I wrong by saying that since Brady has gone, the team has fizzled out? I'm not wrong. Am I wrong in saying he hasn't proven that he can be a great coach without him? No, but I still give him the greatest coach of all time because your team success, he took Brady and that team and had amazing success, and he should be celebrated for it. But am I going to take everything and destroy it to scrap my team and bring him in to start a new team over?
Would Belichick be the greatest of all time, though, without Tom Brady? Like,
no.
what if he didn't
I
have
say
Tom Brady
absolutely
at all?
not. Absolutely not.
It seems
And
like he just kind of, I don't know, piggybacked a little bit off of Tom Brady and the fact
part of being successful is and hugely successful is being in the right place at the right time and getting lucky as well. Sometimes you have to have talent. I don't doubt that Belichick is not a talented defensive coordinator. I don't doubt that he has some talent, but he was also lucky. Unfortunately, Drew Bledsoe, who was a very good quarterback, he got injured, and Brady came in just at the right time. The fact that Brady slid all the way to the 7th round. So he caught lightning in a bottle, and then he ran with it. Part of being great is seeing like, hey, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, but I'm going to ride this sucker as long as possible. His biggest mistake of all was, I'm going to ride this sucker as long as possible, and then getting toward the end and jumping off the horse.
Yep.
Well, If he'd have stuck with them, Brady, there's a good chance Brady would have played the last 2 years plus this past season. Maybe he has already caught Don Shula. He's only 15 games away. If he sticks with Brady year before last year, and this year, he would already have the record. They both could be sailing off in the sunset as unquestioned the greatest duo of all time. Now, there is question about his legacy, questions that I've always had about him. What do you say? And I'm going to tell you, there are some people that say this is blasphemy, just saying that Belichick isn't a great coach. He's been a successful guy. No one questions his success. No one questions his record. I'm just saying that if has he done it? Has he been able to do it anywhere else? I look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid was the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. He took them to NFC championship after an NFC championship after NFC championship after NFC championship. The only thing they were saying is that, hey, he can't get him to the Super Bowl. Got him to the Super Bowl once. He can't win the big one. Andy Reid was like, hey, hold my beer. I'm going over to Kansas City. Went over to Kansas City, brought in Alex Smith, made them a playoff team, made them a contender. And then while having Alex Smith, playoff contending quarterback, he goes out, trades up, goes get Patrick Mahomes when everyone else is like, why is he trading up for this guy? No one knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes, but Andy Reid saw that, drafted him, let Alex Smith go, and now Kansas City, AFC championship after AFC championship, Super Bowl after Super Bowl, win Super Bowl after championship. That's a guy with a track record of consistently winning before Patrick Mahomes and during Patrick Mahomes. That's the track record that I'm talking about. Belichick does not have that.
Yeah. And honestly, that's probably why he didn't get the Falcons job.
I agree. And then with the Falcon job, he wanted total control. And you're going to have to, so you're turning everything over for a guy that may only be there a year or two. Right. I'm not going to do it.
No, nobody would do that.
If Andy Reid retires and I want a coach to keep my team on the top for a couple of years, maybe I'd bring him in for Kansas City if he retired because he has the offense already. He has a solid defense. Sure, I would. But if I'm Atlanta or I'm some team that's looking to build for the next decade, he's not my guy for the next decade, not at 70-something years old and what his track record has been.
It's definitely a smart move on Atlanta for not.
And there's probably people throwing their phone out the car right now because of what we just said.
Get over it.
Yes, that's my girl.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be discussing the Eagles and how they will be playing in Brazil in the 2024 regular season.
Okay.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about how Tom Brady was speaking out about how Bill Belichick is currently still unemployed. And now we're going to be talking about the Eagles starting the regular season in 2024 in Brazil. But first, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you're enjoying the show and want to send us a comment, you can do that at our tips and donation link. That link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
Love it.
Alrighty.
All right, fire away. You're gonna dive in this a little bit?
Okay, so the Eagles are going to open the 2024 regular season in Brazil. The Eagles will open the 2024 season with a Friday night game in Brazil, Commissioner Roger Goodell said during his chat with the media in Las Vegas. This will be the NFL's first game in South America and the first NFL season opener on a Friday since September 18th, 1970, when the Rams beat the Cardinals 34-13 at LA Coliseum. The game will be played on September 6th at Arena Corinthians in Sao Paulo.
El Pablo, yes, Sao Paulo,
Yeah.
yes.
Which has a capacity of 47,252. It's the home stadium of Sport Club Corinthians Paulista. Excuse me.
Ooh, girl, you're on your own. And listen, I live in Portugal. I'm learning Portuguese. Portuguese is hard, so some of these names can be tough.
Paulista,
Yes.
I believe is how it's said. Anyway, soccer team and was used for the 2014 FIFA World Cup and for soccer in the 2016 Olympics. The league counts 38 million fans in Brazil with an increased interest in recent years when it comes to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. When I was reading this, I actually did not know that there were already some NFL games that have become international. Like,
Yes.
one team, I can't remember which team it is, but one team plays in London every year, which I did not know.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I didn't know that. When I was reading this, I was like, wow, NFL's finally going international. That's really cool. And then I found out they were already international.
Okay,
So-
every year they play a game in London, and then now they're starting to do a game in Germany as well.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, the London game it's incredibly popular. And since moving to Europe, I have befriended a lot of Germans. And this is a side note, and I'm going to wrap this back in. When I first moved to Europe, you see Germans, when you start thinking about Germans are very serious, very focused people. And so you don't think of them as very fun people. Oh my God, the Germans are awesome. They're my favorite people on the planet. Germans are so much fun. And they're really embracing the NFL and excited about the games. And my one buddy, Alex, who lives in East Germany, he was talking about, they were watching the Chiefs game, the playoff game, and like they're starting to get into it. And so I know in Germany and London, they're starting to get into it. And it's kind of exciting to see that and actually talk to an actual German guy who lives in Germany and just he's talking about the game.
Well,
now, go ahead. What are you going to say?
American football is kind of similar to rugby, and rugby is very popular in Europe.
See, I can't speak. You know what? Rugby is kind of popular.
Bit like football.
No, it is. And here's the thing about that. I would not know that except for the fact that I had a group of friends came. I had 48 friends visit me last year for 2023, which is a lot of people to visit.
Yeah.
So I had 48 friends, and one time we were in the town of Albufeira, which is a kind of a party town. It's a lot of bars and restaurants, and everyone was watching the Rugby World Cup, I think it is, or Rugby Championship, and all the TVs had the Rugby Championship on, and we were trying to find one TV that they would turn on like the NFL game. And so we asked the lady, and the lady looked at us like, you want us to turn from the Rugby World Cup for that? Like, no, we're not doing that. So rugby outranks the NFL in Europe. Now, let's go to Brazil. One of maybe the most beautiful country on the planet. Oh my God. And I live in a beautiful country, but Brazil, everything about Brazil is gorgeous. You can look at a trash heap and it's like, oh, look at that beautiful trash heap. Brazil, the scenery is awesome. The beaches are unreal. Not gonna lie, the scenery is unreal as well. You didn't even caught on what I'm saying. Brazilian women are some of the most beautiful women on the planet. Okay. And I used to go to Brazil quite often, and it is so fun. Mm-hmm. It is also it can be very dangerous as well. It can be the Brazilian people are so very sweet, kind people, but there's an underside, just like in America, where it can get dangerous. Mm-hmm. And having a game in Brazil, it's going to be amazing. The Brazilian people are very passionate people. They're going to go to that game and they're going to celebrate. That stadium's going to be rocking. I mean, really rocking. What worries me is in Brazil, having NFL players in a city in Brazil too long, there's a lot of things you can get in trouble with in Brazil. If you're looking for it, you can find it. And I mean, you can find it. You picking up what I'm putting down?
I am picking up what you're putting down.
And man, that's the only thing that I worry, where Germany is a very, very safe place. Mm-hmm. London, you go to London, London's just an unreal city. It's just one of the best. London is like this giant city that feels small. Mm-hmm. So you just love going. I mean, I've been to London. London's awesome. But Brazil, man, you just got to be careful. I mean, I've gone to resorts and I've seen people, you see somebody that looks like George Costanza, fat, roly-poly guy, receding hairline, belly all stuck out. And you're at the bar and you see Jennifer Lopez / Beyonce walk up to you and tell you, I can't live without you. Don't go home with her because she's going to roll you. If she don't roll you, one of her buddies are going to roll you. You got to be careful there. I'm not saying that's not the way it can be. It can be that way in America. Mm-hmm. It can be that way in a lot of places, but you can find trouble in a place like Brazil. And that's the beauty of Brazil. You have to be smart. You got to keep your head on a swivel. It is one of my favorite places in the world to be. It's unreal. It's a great place. But NFL players have been known to make maybe not the smartest decisions.
I mean,
and it's not like with the NBA, you bring an NBA team there. There's 12 people and staff. Mm-hmm. You bring an NFL team there. You bring an NFL. You have the 52-man roster. Maybe you're gonna bring some practice. You bring some practice squad players. You have trainers, general managers, equipment guys. It's a vast undertaking. So you're talking about 75 to 100 people per team. There's a lot of people that you have to keep an eye on. And there's a lot of things that people can get in trouble with. That's what worries me about going to Brazil. It's going to be awesome. That game, I'm telling you, The game's going to be rocking. People are going to love it as far as being there. Also, a lot of Americans are going to go there. They need to be, you got to be careful there. That's the only thing I would be saying. If you told me you're going to go like Vegas, the Super Bowl's in Vegas. Well, Vegas can be an amazing place, a lot of fun. But if you're looking for trouble in Vegas, you'll find trouble.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Well, what happens in Brazil, like I feel safer in Brazil than I do. I mean, in Vegas than I do in Brazil. There's even more things that you can get in trouble with in Brazil, and maybe some of the players that don't make the smartest decision, nor the fans. That's my concern. What do you say?
I'm just curious to see how many American fans are going to travel to Brazil to see this game. Because not going to be a cheap thing, because you're going to have to pay however much the tickets are going to be for the game. Then, if you don't have a passport, you've got to get a passport by that time. Passports are expensive. You got airline tickets, you got hotel, then you got food and souvenir money and stuff like souvenir money. I sound like they're going on a field trip.
Oh my God.
It's going to be an expensive thing to do, to just go see a football game,
No, listen, I absolutely not.
No?
Not only, I would tell you, heed my warning about being safe and making smart decisions. That would be a nice game to go to. I would go to it.
I'm not saying don't go.
Oh, no. I'm just saying I'd be booking an extra week there.
Be pricey game.
I would probably get there the week before. Brazil's so much fun. And then in your vacation with that game, and then fly out, you will have the time of your life, as long as you don't make bad decisions. And Brazil, and I'm gonna tell you this, Brazil, way, way cheaper than going to London, way cheaper than going to Germany.
Just the flight, the flight you gotta worry about.
I would even say, let's say I lived in California. Let's say I used to go watch the Cowboys. I used to go fly to Dallas and watch the Cowboys every year, or flying to Philadelphia and going to an Eagles game. If you went to an Eagles game in Philadelphia, you're flying across country, I'm willing to bet you that Brazil would be cheaper.
To fly to Brazil?
Yes, I say, this is me from my experience of going to Brazil and things of that nature. Flying to Brazil, getting a hotel, resort, and everything would be way cheaper than going to Philadelphia. I think it would be, and I haven't crunched the numbers, but my experience, I think you'd probably come out cheaper than Philadelphia, with way more, having way more fun and having some serious memories.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. So she's like, okay, I'm going to Brazil then.
No, I can't go to Brazil.
You would love it. It'd be awesome.
I can't go to watch the game. I'm still in school, man.
It's September. You'll be done. Forget about it.
No, I still have a semester left.
Okay. After that semester, go. It's awesome. Just be safe. One of the best. You go to Brazil, you will never forget it. It's second to none. Just be safe.
Yeah. I wonder how the time difference is going to work with this game too, like streaming it and such.
There's no real time difference.
Is there not?
No, you got to think about South America and the U.S. are parallel. So that game will probably most likely be on either Eastern or Central time, where if you're having a game in London, you got to go Greenwich Mean Time, for instance.
Oh, yeah, it's only it's 2 hours ahead of Eastern time. Never mind.
Right. That's why I went. So it's Mountain Time. So it's
Yeah.
the same. Well, you're talking Greenwich Mean Time. I'm on Greenwich Mean Time. I'm 5 hours ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when like the London game and the Germany game, you're waking up, you're getting your Pop-Tarts and your bowl of cereal ready because that game's in the morning. And Pop-Tarts are awesome. I'm sorry. I miss Pop-Tarts. When I came home in October.
They don't have Pop-Tarts in Europe?
No, they do not. There's a lot of things. I said we need to do an episode on what's illegal in Europe and what's not. But I was walking through Walmart after living in Europe for a little while, and I caught a Pop-Tart box out the corner of my eye. I was walking down the aisle. I was like, I grabbed that bad boy. I don't take the time to put them in the toaster.
No.
I'm munching on Pop-Tarts driving down the street.
Okay, quick question. What is your favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
Strawberry or brown? Is it strawberry the red one?
There's strawberry and then there's cherry.
Either one of the red ones I'm cool with. And the brown center, the brown sugar one.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you, as a guy who don't see Pop-Tarts that often,
Mm-hmm.
when you come back to the U.S., you got to get your fat boy on. And that means you got to get your gummy treats. It's like Skittles, like I said, Skittles are the worst candy on the planet. I'm tossing them up in the air. I'm catching them. I'm chewing them. I'm eating my Pop-Tarts. I eat all the stuff that I don't see anymore.
I actually don't like Skittles. I don't like
Skittles. That's because you eat too many Skittles and a horn will grow out of your head. They're just really bad for you.
Yeah.
I think they were rated last year the worst snack you could have, or worst candy in the world, or something like that. Don't quote me on it. I remember saying something like that. Yes.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the Spurs and how they held a practice at a Miami Beach school.
Pop-Tarts. That's my tagline now. Pop-Tarts. Oh, gosh.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Eagles and how they will be opening the 2024 regular season in Brazil. And now we're going to be talking about the Spurs and how they held a practice at a Miami Beach school. I would just like to state that Tate sent a message to me seconds ago saying that he's hungry now because he's been talking about Pop-Tarts.
Oh. You don't understand. You have a certain appreciation for American food. The food here is awesome. I love the food here. Mm-hmm. But that bad American food. I don't want to go to America. I don't need a steak. I don't want fish in America. I want the bad stuff. I want bacon. I want Pop-Tarts. I want, all the stuff that, I want the double with cheese. I want all the bad stuff. When I went home, it was kind of, how like you remember the Grinch's heart grew 2 sizes bigger and all that stuff. My butt grew 2 sizes bigger. My butt, it was all butt and gut when I got home.
Oh, gosh.
Alrighty.
The things you don't need to know about.
Okay. So, the Spurs held a practice at a Miami Beach school, and the kids there got a huge surprise. So, starting off, Jacob Asaroff lost a bet, so he had to go through classes at Hebrew Academy on Wednesday wearing a suit instead of more casual wear. Turns out that wasn't the most unusual part of his day. Members of the boys and girls basketball team at the small private school got quite a surprise. They got to be in the gym to watch number 1 draft pick Victor Wembanyama, Coach Greg Popovich,
from France.
Coach Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs having a game day shoot-around session on their court. Popovich even posed for pictures with the group and engaged the players in a question and answer session. The encounter started taking shape a few weeks ago when someone from the Spurs called the school and asked if its facilities would be available for practice. The Spurs in Miami to play the Heat on Wednesday night were staying nearby, and teams often have a morning on-court workout before a game in the evening. The Hebrew Academy didn't hesitate before saying yes. Having school's basketball players in the gym was not a part of the plan, that is, until Wednesday morning. Shoot-arounds, like most NBA practices, are typically closed to outsiders. Word got out fast. Some students climbed on gates outside the gym to peer through the windows just for a look at Wembanyama.
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. I'm there for you.
Inside the gym, the Spurs heard the commotion. Wembanyama acknowledged the kids more than once, and a few more were waiting for him as he left the gym for the short walk back to the Spurs team buses. What are they doing?
I love this. This is awesome.
No, it's definitely awesome, and like, you know, I'm sure those kids were super ecstatic that you know, an NBA basketball team was practicing in their school gym. But they couldn't, you know, there's not a nicer place for an NBA team to practice before a game.
What was the city they were in? Do you know?
Miami Beach.
Okay. I'm sure there was probably someplace else. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's kind of a situation where maybe they were a road trip. Maybe they weren't planning on having a practice, mm-hmm. but maybe someone got injured and they need to bring in another player. They need to work some things out. Mm. And so they decided last second to get in a workout. Or Popovich maybe felt like the team needed a workout. Mm-hmm. So they started calling around, trying to find like, hey, we don't want our guys having to travel really far. So what's close around the hotel? Maybe this is the closest arena, closest gym. Mm-hmm. Gyms are pretty standard when it comes to basketball courts. So maybe that's the reason behind it. What I'm looking at this and saying, I love this. Mm-hmm. I think the NBA and Adam Silver should take this and say, it should be a situation where, like, I would love to see this during the off season, during the kind of like preseason, or when they're practicing and getting ready for the season, mm-hmm. that all the teams, let's say all the teams in the area, they have a practice game, a meet and greet and a practice at all the different high school arenas in their area. So if you're a Cleveland Cavalier, I grew up in the Cleveland, Ohio area. So they go to, you know, let's say Canton, they go to Cleveland, Youngstown, some of the high schools in those areas. If you're in Atlanta, some of the high schools around there. So that the kids they'll get a practice in, but then afterwards they get to meet their favorite player on a more even playing field. so that they get to meet them. LeBron James is in my school, and I got to shake LeBron's hand. I got to watch him practice in my arena. They could do that and just go around to all the different high schools. And I think a lot could be done with this. I love it. I think it is like such a cool thing. And when you're talking about professional sports, there's such a huge distance. Like there's this gate, this where the fan never can really interact with the players. Well, this would be a great opportunity to have it so that these high school kids get to see their favorite player practice. You're not charging anything. And afterwards, the players meet and greet. You get to sign an autograph, sign my math book or this and that, and you get a chance to sit down with the players. The NBA should, I think, kind of embrace this. I think it'd be a really cool thing. It's not like an NFL team where it's a small city. During preseason and training camp, there's hundreds of people that's involved. You can't really move that, but you can take 20 to 30 people and go around to the different high schools. And I think it would be really cool. I'm thinking about this. I suspect, I don't have any information, that it was Popovich decided, hey, either we need to work out, we got another player coming in because someone's injured. We're bringing up a D League player or someone, G League 2, work in, and we need to work some sets so they understand what's going on, or something that we need to work out before the game, something that he saw. But I'm assuming they needed like a little hour or so kind of practice beforehand. So that's my thing. But I absolutely love it. And Popovich, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It really honestly is a cute thing that they did that. And then, they met all the students that were really excited to meet them and everything. I remember one time, and when I was in school, the Harlem Globetrotters came to my school and did a game or whatever at my school, and that was really cool. And I got to meet some of the Harlem Globetrotters at the time.
And you see how cool you thought that was?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I can't even name a Harlem Globetrotter anymore. But if I had a chance,
I can't either.
Victor Wembanyama, the number 1 pick in the draft, international superstar. I get to see him practice. I get to meet him. I get to Hall of Fame Coach Greg Popovich, looking at all those players. Or LeBron James comes to my high school, or Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, or Kevin Durant, and you know what I mean? These people, if you're remembering the Harlem Globetrotters and you think that's amazing, imagine your local team comes to your high school.
Yeah.
You're in Georgia, so Trae Young and those guys come to your high school, practice. You get to watch them practice, and then afterwards you get to meet them and everything. I think that would be cool.
I think also, if the basketball teams from that school got to like talk to them and like, maybe practice with them a little bit and get some pointers from them, I think that would be really cool as well.
And that's why I said you can't do something like that during the season.
Yeah.
But during training camp and during, as they're getting ready for the season, I think it'd be kind of cool to just go on a tour. Like I would make it so it's like the local team. So if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're visiting all the schools around around Oklahoma City. If you're the Atlanta Hawks, you're visiting all the schools around Atlanta, having a day at the different schools. In a month or so, you could knock out 20, 30 schools and think about those kids will remember that forever.
Yeah.
That you instantly, kids that maybe you weren't a basketball fan, but if the Atlanta Hawks came to your school, practiced at your school, came over and said hello to Faith and sat down, gave an autograph and everything else, maybe you're an Atlanta Hawks fan now.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think my high school has actually gone to the Atlanta Hawks court stadium.
Arena.
And has played a game there before. I think that's actually happened.
And that could be very possible. But see, there's still a big difference. Even if you took your whole school and said, hey, we're going to take everyone to Atlanta Hawks game, it's not the same as the Atlanta Hawks coming to your high school, practicing at your high school, and then meeting the players. That's a whole different level. That's what, different than what the story is. The story is that Popovich and the Spurs needed an arena, needed a gym to practice at, and they went there, and the kids had a chance to see Wembanyama, and and they're all excited about that. Is kind of, but I think they should go. The NBA could go a step further. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. I mean, you'll remember that for the rest of your life, honestly.
Absolutely.
Got to meet Wembanyama. How crazy is that?
and listen, he's a rookie. This guy has the potential to be a skill set. If he stays healthy, he has, at minimum, he's Hall of Fame talent. He has the skill. He's at that age and he has the skill set to his ceiling. Now, I got to make sure I'm not predicting this, but his ceiling is he has the ceiling to be the greatest player to ever play the game. That's his peak. If he falls anywhere between Hall of Famer and the greatest player to ever play the game, that's all within his grasp, as long as he stays healthy. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And maybe, NBA, anybody who's listening, you should do it. We think it's a great idea.
I think so.
Tour your state.
And you could do that with the WNBA. I definitely think the WNBA should do it, because with the WNBA, there are so many. There's these great teams and these unbelievable players, but they don't have the following. They need to be building for the future, getting young boys and young girls involved in the game. And maybe by having practices at the different high schools, maybe you start to get to know some of the WNBA players. Maybe it become you can start getting some of these fans to start coming to the games, because that's the WNBA does not have the television audience, nor do they have the in-person, viewership to support the league. Start building for the future. Go to some of these high school arenas. And I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be diving into our oddities of the day.
All right.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the Spurs and how they held a practice at a Miami Beach school. And now we're going to be diving into our oddities of the day.
Wait, before you do this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm having a senior moment here, because I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't we do 4 segments? Okay, no. The first segment was Brady and Belichick. The second was Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Third was the
Uh,
Spurs.
Spurs.
And now oddities.
Oh wow! There's no. I could have sworn there's like another one in there. Somehow like
They
I
thought
told
we were
you,
doing 5 today.
I am hungry. We started talking about Pop-Tarts and Skittles
All
and
he's
bacon.
got is Pop-Tarts on right now. He's like, hurry, wrap this up.
You see those commercials where the kids, they need money for starving children. It's gonna be a commercial. I'm just gonna be laying there. All you need is one Pop-Tart to save
Get
Andrew
out of
Tate.
here.
Send
Get
me a
out of
Pop-Tart.
here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, fourth segment of the day, like we always do. We have our oddities of the day. This one had me rolling on the floor, almost peeing my pants funny. Like,
Oh
this
wow.
was-
Okay. You
Okay.
got me now.
So, I don't know if you've seen this, but Larry David, the very well-known comedian, attacked Elmo on live television.
What? Okay, I'm concerned.
Oh, okay. So first of all, it was already a rough week for Elmo. Sometime it was at the end of January. Elmo, who is the lovable Sesame Street monster, posted
My favorite.
posted on X, or formerly known as Twitter, asking everyone how they were doing, and the answers were brutally honest, to say the least. And I will, while we're talking about this, I will
Fires. I
find
want to hear some of these comments going
I
to
will
my man
find
Elmo.
these Twitter comments. But so last week, while still processing the collective trauma dump filling his replies, Elmo went on the Today Show to talk about mental health and check in with everyone after his viral post. The interview started off innocent enough, but as if breaking the internet wasn't enough, Elmo was attacked again, this time physically. One of Hollywood's most famous comedians, Larry David, was also on the Today Show to promote the final season of his Curb Your Enthusiasm series. In a fit of rage, David interrupted Elmo's segment by throttling the cute red Muppet. And for our viewers, I posted a photo for you to see Larry David choking out Elmo.
Wait a minute. I gotta check out my man Elmo. You can't be laying hands on Elmo.
It's so funny.
This is wrong. You can't be beating down my boy Elmo. Damn, he's choking him out.
I know. I was in tears.
Oh. Was it staged? Because he's choking him out.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, they're looking. I'm seeing some of the pictures of the people from the Today Show. They're looking like what the hell? Wow, they're beating up poor my main man Elmo.
Oh my gosh.
Now, and guess what? Now Elmo, for mental health, Elmo needs therapy.
You know what's awful? That same week, I think Elmo's birthday was this past weekend.
Oh, you can't beat him up on his birthday. Come on. Beat down Elmo. All right.
Elmo is really, really going through it.
Wow.
This poor little Muppet can't catch a break.
Tickle me, Elmo, my butt. Choke me out, Elmo. It's the new Sesame Street toy where you take all your frustrations out on them.
David later returned to the scene of the crime when he was a guest on Late Night with Seth Meyers. While he was talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm, Meyer had to ask about
What the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I had to ask about the elephant in the room, why he attacked innocent Elmo on live TV. Larry David said, Elmo was talking and I was waiting to be interviewed. He was going on about mental health and I had to listen to every word David proclaimed. Intimidating Elmo's voice. I was going, oh my God, I don't think I can take another second of this. So I got off my chair, I approached him, and I throttled him. Even though he apologized to Elmo on the Today Show for attacking him, David revealed to Myers in the other interview that he would do it again.
Okay, so
I'd do it once and I'd do it again.
The puppet Elmo.
Yeah.
He's a puppet, okay. And he's there chilling. They're talking about mental health, you know. And then this dude snaps on him. Talk about needing mental health. Well, it kind of goes with the show of Curb Your Enthusiasm. First off, I didn't even know that Curb Your Enthusiasm was still on.
I don't even know what that is, so.
Okay. Larry David is the guy that created Seinfeld, and then he did Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was an incredibly popular show on HBO. I thought that show's been gone like 10 years ago. How many seasons has it been on?
I don't know. I didn't even know what it was, so.
It was an incredibly popular show. So he has two of the most popular shows in history, Seinfeld, which I know you know what Seinfeld is.
Yeah, I've seen all of Seinfeld.
Yes, well, he's the creator of Seinfeld. Yeah. And then so he has kind of a twisted, kind of unique mind, and I guess beating down Elmo is part of that. So he couldn't handle hearing another word from the puppet. And you know, Elmo is loved by kids.
Yeah.
And this old, again, crusty gray-haired man is just gonna go over there and snatch up Elmo and beat him down. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is awful. I'm still trying to find these tweets because
I'm picturing little Jimmy. He has his little cookies and chocolate milk, and he's sitting there in front of the TV watching Elmo talk about mental health, and he takes a swig off his chocolate milk. Next thing you know, Elmo's getting beat down.
To make it even like worse, Elmo's dad was there.
Whoa! What the heck do you mean Elmo's dad? Elmo's a puppet.
Elmo has a dad, though.
What do you mean he has a dad? I didn't know he has a. How does he have a dad?
I think he has a dad. I think that's because there were two puppets. There were two puppets there.
Sorry, excuse me, people, but I have to look up Elmo's dad
Louis.
Who the hell is Elmo's dad? Wait a minute.
Where do you think Elmo came from?
The big Elmo delivery stork in the sky? Who the heck is Louis? I'm looking at
Elmo's
this dude.
dad, but Elmo's dad was at the interview as well, and then watched as Larry David beat him up.
Elmo's dad's a punk. You can't be letting your kid get beat up on the Today
I know.
Show.
His dad honestly just kind of stood there. I know he's a puppet, but do something.
Elmo's dad. I never knew that Elmo had a dad. I was checking out Elmo's dad. He looks kind of creepy.
On some of these, so we were also talking about how Elmo posted on Twitter and people collectively did a trauma dump on him. I found some of the
man.
So Elmo on Twitter said, Elmo is just checking in. How is everybody doing? And here are some of the replies. Every morning, I cannot wait to go back to sleep. Every Monday, I cannot wait for Friday to come. Every single day and every single week for life.
Wow.
That was a reply to Elmo's tweet.
That's crazy.
Another someone else said, Elmo, I'm gonna be real. I'm at my limit.
Whoa.
Somebody else said, the world is burning around us, Elmo.
Oh, poor these. Wow. Poor he gets all this stuff.
Yeah.
His dad looks like a hobo, and now he's getting all this depressing information.
Somebody else said, we started it by trauma dumping so hard on Elmo, the official Sesame Street account had to tweet out mental health resources. God help us.
Wow. But you know what, though? There's a lot of depressing things going on in the world right now, and people need help. And so see, this is what makes it really bad, is because Sesame Street, the people of Sesame Street, they see this. And so they try to do something good by talking about mental health, which is needed.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Larry David drops an elbow on him.
Yeah. And then Elmo's birthday was like the next week.
And then what does he get for his birthday? But he needs therapy sessions. That's what he's gonna get.
Also, Elmo, I believe, turned 4, which is a total lie. I think that's
400.
Yeah, 3. He turns 3. He turned 3 on 4 days ago, almost 4 days ago.
That's like negative dog years. So every, it's like with dogs every 7 years. 1 year is every 7 years. With Elmo, every 7 years is like 1 year.
Elmo, it's like every 20 years is a year for him. So.
Wow.
Because he's been. How long has Sesame Street been out? It's been like the 70s or 80s, right?
No, it was the 70s.
Yeah.
It was definitely the 70s. I mean, Sesame Street was around when I was a little kid.
So every 20 years, Elmo ages by 1.
I want to take some of that. He's probably 6 now after getting choked out.
Oh God, poor Elmo.
He had this low stress life, so he was aging slowly. Then
and then Larry David,
crazy old man just comes snatching him up. And then do you see the look on the people that work for the Today Show, the laughter, and they're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Like somebody just gets up and starts choking out Elmo. What are you supposed to do?
First thing, you're looking at the cameraman and you're looking at the producer like, was this planned? Am I supposed to be reacting? Am I supposed to help? Elmo's dead. Like I said, looks like a homeless hobo. Do you go and help? Get in there. Help him out.
Poor Elmo.
Wow.
And they made him publicly apologize to him on the Today Show after he did it.
Oh, he didn't mean that. That's like, wow. No, I did not see this. I didn't. But apparently, you enjoyed it.
It's funny. It's funny. I'm sorry. It is
funny. Wait. I love your reaction. Like, whoa. Oh, no, you didn't.
It is funny. I'm sorry.
Don't be throwing me under the bus.
I feel like it's normal to laugh at this.
Of course, it's like hilarious. That. No, I understand. I'm just giving you a hard time. You're like, I love that you're laughing like, what did you say?
Calling me out. All right, guys. Well, if you happen to run across a Sesame Street Muppet, please don't throttle them. Don't choke them out. They were your friends. Like 10
they're your
years
friends.
ago.
They're childhood friends. Don't choke them out.
Yeah.
Leave Miss Piggy alone too. She's a Muppet too, so she's just part of the family.
Yep.
And it goes with what you said. You do like the Muppets. I remember you saying that. But you've never seen Farscape. Watch Farscape.
It's on my list. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out our show. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show presented by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. And please be nice to the puppets.
Elmo, you're still my man.
See you guys.
Bye.